Hey everyone. Today I'm going to talk about something that seems to be on everyone's minds lately, stablecoins. The idea behind a stablecoin is actually pretty simple. The idea is that one coin is always going to equal one US dollar. People often buy these coins when they feel like the crypto market is heading for some sort of downturn or a long-term bear market. In effect, they're fleeing into the stablecoin. Tether, or USDT, is the most well-known of these coins. As you can see, the name comes from the idea that USDT is tethered to the US dollar. Here I've represented it with a chain, and... Wait, what? Wait, who's that? What's that little guy doing? Oh no, it looks like this floating man doesn't trust Tether. Well, he's moved on now, but the damage is done. You can think of this angry man and his impressive mouth laser as people who have lost faith in Tether and Bitfinex. Bitfinex, by the way, is the exchange that effectively owns the company that prints Tether. Every Tether printed is supposed to be backed by a dollar. However, people have been questioning the legitimacy of this dollar peg for quite some time. Rumors abound that Tether is based on nothing more than unicorn dreams, and as a result, Bitfinex is bound to go out of business sooner than later. There's actually even a Twitter account called Bitfinex that exists solely to call them out. There are a variety of possible explanations for this. It could be the issues with their bank, it could be their long-term inability to have a convincingly thorough audit done on their finances, or it could be something else. Perhaps it's the fact that their terms of service indicates that they don't actually have an obligation to turn Tether back into the US dollar. In the end, the reason for this doesn't really matter. The ultimate takeaway here is that some number of people believe that Bitfinex is just printing money based on nothing. And if Tether isn't actually backed by dollars, then it's actually worth not much more than a Chuck E. Cheese token. For my part, I'm not all that concerned. Tether may very well come out of this just fine, and it's actually survived similar crises at least once in the past. Of course, it helps that I've never put my own money into Tether. I've always viewed it as kind of an IOU from a company that I don't trust all that much. I've actually talked about Tether in the past on rosecrypto.com, suggesting that fleeing from the bear market into a so-called stable coin is probably not the best option when compared to investing in something like BNB instead. I don't think that the overall cryptocurrency market is married to Tether's success, even if it does introduce a certain amount of liquidity. But if the ecosystem does need a stable coin, it doesn't have to be Tether. There are actually lots of alternatives. Now, I'm not going to get into each and every one of these alternatives. There's quite a few, and I'm sure some of them are interesting, and if you want to do the research, or if you want me to do the research, leave a comment below and perhaps I'll look into them, make a video or an article. But for now, I'm just going to talk about the one that I find the most interesting, and that is TrueUSD. The biggest thing about this coin is that unlike Tether, it's not just a blank IOU from the people at Bitfinex. I'll set aside the interesting technical aspects, like smart contracts, and instead I'll focus on what really matters. And what matters is whether or not you can trust these people. Thankfully, not that much trust is required. This is because they've partnered with trusts and banks which maintain a transparent pool of US dollars which backs each and every token. In this way, you can be reasonably assured that they actually do have one US dollar for each existing TrueUSD. As a bonus, it's traded on Binance, and this happens to be my favorite and most trusted cryptocurrency exchange. It's also worth noting that the market seems to agree about my assessment. During the worst of the Tether panic during the last week or so, TrueUSD was trading at a significant premium because so many people were fleeing into it. Now, I really only have one more thing to say about this whole Tether panic situation, and that's that the panic seems to have calmed down a bit over the last few days. Of course, this is going to vary from exchange to exchange, but CoinMarketCap's aggregate suggests that TrueUSD is only trading at about $1.02, while Tether is trading at about 98. This still isn't great for so-called stable coins. I mean, it doesn't sound very stable to me, but it is better than a few days ago when I watched Tether get as low as something like 93 cents on Binance. We'll wait and see. We'll see what happens over the next few days. but at the end of the day, I'm still just not very interested. For my own money, I'm not that interested in hiding inside of a stablecoin. But if I was, I would be very wary about choosing Tether, at least until we see what happens. That's about all I have to say about that. Until next time, I'm signing out.